What's happening? This is Ryan Dawkins, and you're tuning in to The LOFT.
Have brought out the best of me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The LOFT. Today, I'm with a very special guest, my guy from Stanton Bowery. You may see him at Barstool, Nashville, Scottsdale, Datura. You may see him all over the place. He's the man. Big Packers fan, but we still love him. My man Dex. What's up, baby? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good, bro. Got you in for a good morning pod, dude, the night after a Barstool shift.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But, yeah, dude, I'm happy you came on. I'm happy you made the time. I know, you know, you've been really busy with your work, and we can get into, like, I'm down to talk about, like, your podcast, the platform, which I had a mix on, which was a blessing, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've really gotten to meet you the past, like, I would say, 2 years maybe? Is it 2 years? Maybe?
Yeah, probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I've been in this role, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I call it the mafia handshake, bro. Mm-hmm. And when you started, like, working in your role, I was like, oh, like, I can't put a face to the name yet. So I flew over to Nashville. Remember that weekend I came?
Yeah.
That was the first time we ever met, and it was such a good time. And, like, I was like, I just gotta go shake his hand. I'll go chill, go hang out, take the weekend off. And I always tell this story because it's so funny, because I went to go see, I was talking to Coda about it. I was like, yeah, I pulled up and I brought my buddy Craig Reynolds. And then I walk in on a Thursday, and Dex texts me and says, yeah, was that Craig Reynolds? And I was like, yeah, because, like, me and him went to high school together. Like, really, so I didn't really think, like, anything of it. Like, we were in the same area, play basketball. You're like, hey, because he was on the Lions, and he's like, that's like your division. So it was just so funny to kind of make that connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew him right away from being a Packers fan and watching him. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So you're like, yeah, is that Craig Reynolds? I was like, yeah. So it's just funny how the universe works, and you know what I mean. Like I said, it was just really good to, like, just kick it with you, and, like, you're a good dude, and, like, you're fun to be around, and, you know, like I said, I love, like, the actual work you do. I love the podcast you do, and, like, obviously you're DJing, and, you know, getting to hang out with you, even, like, last night, like, me being downstairs, you being upstairs. Like, I love all of that, and, like, that whole ecosystem. It's just a good, like, environment to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry if I got you in trouble last night. We were talking a little bit.
Oh my God, wait. No, so wait, that was so good. So, like, I got there, and dude, so I almost was late last night. So,
Well, Emily came up, and Emily was talking to me, and she's like, yeah, he came down there late, and he said it's because he's. I immediately was like, yeah, that's my bad. And she's like, yeah, he said it was because of you. And I was like, yeah, that's my bad.
No, I didn't throw you under the bus. I was like, wait, so this is crazy. So, this guy Antonio, who runs the yacht, right? He's getting married on Sunday. I'm DJing his wedding, and his wife is my agent for, like, my events and weddings. Mm-hmm. And so they had their welcome party on the boat yesterday. And we get there, like, it starts at, like, 6:30, and he's like, yo, we're going to dock at 9, I promise. Because, like, I'm like, dude, I got to be there by, like, 9:30, 10, like, right?
And you can't just be stranded on a boat.
No. So we get on there, it's, like, 6:30, an hour goes by, we still didn't undock yet, and we undock at, like, 7:30, and we're on the boat, and everyone's having a good time. Obviously, Antonio is, like, whacked, having a good time, and I'm looking at the clock, and it's, like, 8:45, and we're still in the middle of the fucking Delaware. And so I'm like, all right, so let me see when it's 9. It's 9 o'clock. We're still out. I'm like, all right, I have some time, whatever. I don't want to be an asshole. It's 9:30, and I'm like, we're still in the water. I'm like, dude, like, I pulled Antonio. I was like, yo, bro, like, just know, like, I have to fucking leave. Like, and I went to the captain, and he had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, yo, we got to dock now. He's like, what? He's like, I thought 10. I'm like, 10? I'm like, 10 o'clock? I got to fucking be at Barstool at 10.
You're like, we either got a dock or I'm jumping
off. No, literally, dude. So, like, I go to Antonio, and I'm like, Antonio, dock the fucking boat now.
Yeah.
Or I'm not doing your wedding. I was like, dock it. And he's like, all right. So they pulled over, and we got there like 10 o'clock. So, like, then I got to see you and hang out with you. So I was like, all right, let me see how many time I can get to, like, talk to you. So then
squeeze out as much as you can.
Yeah. Emily's like, hi, brother, where you at? And I was like, fuck, I know I'm in trouble. I know she's brooding, but Emily, if you're watching this, I love you.
My bad.
Dex's fault. But dude, so I would love to. I don't know really how much I watch some of your episodes and stuff, and I know you get more into, like, the guests. You talk to the guests, but I'd love to kind of dig in with like you and your career and how you kind of got started. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So obviously if people don't know, he works at Stanton Bowery, and you know, you've a lot of talent, and you do all of the, what would you say your role is exactly?
It's the director of entertainment. So like,
right, yeah.
obviously for Stanton Bowery is the hospitality group that oversees all of the venues that we have. So all the Barstool properties, and then we have obviously like you were talking about Detura before. So we have 123 Detura, 4. We have 511 in Tampa. We have 2 venues in New York, and then we have another venue in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
That's also like under our hospitality group. So I do all of the booking for all the entertainment across all of our venues, whether it's the local acts, the larger acts that we're bringing in. So like Tampa next weekend, we got some good artists coming in with Danson, who's had some stuff out on Experts Only. Roddy Lima, who's just been fucking crushing in the house scene. Both of those guys at our Tampa venue. So just working with all the labels and agencies and getting everybody all locked in, and then doing all the artist liaison stuff for when we do have shows, getting all the riders set, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, are there a lot of hoops in that? Because like, I'm sure. Yeah, right.
I mean, it's the biggest thing is trying to get like all of these artists locked in, and obviously with doing any of these larger artists, like the fees add up, and it's hard to kind of try and make it work with the different venues, because different venues are different capacities, and you're trying to be like, all right, like what's the value here? What's going to be the return on investment if we do spend 10 grand on this? Like, are we making this back? Is it something that we're just booking because like it's a good look for the venue and we might take a loss on it, but down the road it's like, oh cool, like you had this person play at your venue. Right. So there's a lot that goes into it, and then just the back and forth with the different agencies of getting everything fully locked in. Yeah, and like teetering that line, I'm sure a lot goes into that, and yeah. So when you are looking at, like, for example, like I know we talked a little bit about like a Nick Vans, right? Like someone like that. So between you have like a Danny Avila, who's like a really talented DJ, and then you have like a Nick Vance, who's more of like the personality, like social media. So like, how do you teeter that line, and how do you really balance like what artist goes good with what venue? Like, what's the process in that? I mean, that's a lot harder. I feel like for our venues, well, I guess it's not a lot harder, because I feel like our venues are curated pretty well for the most part. I mean, everyone, like for Parlay and 4, I feel like they're pretty similar in the fact that they're curated more toward house music. Right. Whereas a lot of these other venues are much more open format, where it's like you have Nashville, where you can bring in a lot of these more open format guys, and then vice versa, like the house guys don't play well there, just because the crowd in Nashville just isn't into it as much, where it's like I could get somebody like an A-Craze or somebody like that to play in Nashville, and it wouldn't do as well as it would at like 4. Right. Because like they know, hey, like we're coming to this venue, we're getting this genre of music, and they're coming out specifically for that music. Whereas like in Nashville, they want to hear all those sing-alongs and shit like that, and it's like, then if you're booking a house artist that isn't going to play that, you end up losing that crowd like right away, and they end up like hating the night instead of being a little bit more open-minded to be like, damn, this is actually good music. So it's harder to kind of select like who's going to play well for these venues, and getting in with the market is the only way to do it, because you have to be able to see what the crowds are liking there, and what artists are going to pull well in that, for sure, in that market. Yeah, because like Nashville's like a quote unquote like a tourist destination, so you're getting all kinds of people every single night. So you said usually open format. It's like you just really, I feel like with those kind of crowds, like open format's always the safest, but like you never really know. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude. So like pivoting more into like DEX, like so. Let me ask you this. So how did you get into looped with this company, and like how did you get your, work your way up into this position? Like how did you start with Stanton Bowery? I'm like so curious. So I moved to Nashville 3 years ago now. Where are you coming from? From Milwaukee. So I was DJing in Milwaukee. I would DJ in Chicago. I just had a bunch of friends that are all DJs in Chicago, and then myself, I was DJing every venue in Milwaukee. There's really only like a couple true nightclubs in Milwaukee. The rest are all kind of just like party bars and dive bars and stuff like that. But Milwaukee is a city that loves to drink, and it's easy to be able to throw parties there because that's all everybody does is go out and drink. So as far as like being able to DJ, like, dude, I was DJing 4 or 5 nights a week because there was always something. There was always like a Monday service industry party, or like a Sunday night, or then like you had a Tuesday party at one of the venues and a Wednesday party. So it's like there's always something.
Crazy, yeah.
And they would kind of like rotate in DJs and stuff like that, or it's like you'd have a residency somewhere. So then when we came here because my fiance was getting into school out here. I was ultimately like, hey, you can go wherever. I'll just be able to kind of get in and DJ wherever. I mean, I had my mix show that I had started over COVID, so it's like I was getting traction from that and getting to know more people in different markets just from doing the mix show and putting people on the mix show and stuff like that. So when I came out to Nashville, I knew just like a couple people. Like really, I only knew my buddy Darren, who was a really, really good DJ out in Chicago. And then I knew Diesel, who did some of the bookings for like the Riot hospitality groups of like Whiskey Row, El Jefe, those kind of spots. And then my buddy Eric Sanchez was the manager at Whiskey Row downtown in Nashville. But when I moved here, like I didn't like push any of them to be like, hey, get me into this venue. Like, how can I DJ here? All this kind of stuff. I just wanted it to kind of happen organically because I just, to me, I feel like asking people for gigs like that it sucks. Yeah. Like I feel like I don't earn it in a way, and it's also like, it feels like it's almost like a pity gig at that point. Yeah. Where like I wanted all my shit to happen organically. So when I first got out there, I really wasn't DJing much. I was still working at Apple at the time. I was full time there.
Wow. You worked at Apple. What'd you do? What'd you do over there?
I did all their sales of just like product sales on the floor and sell fucking everything. So
shit, you sold an iPad or two, huh?
I sold a lot of iPads. Yeah, I was like top 3 in our entire market.
Get the fuck out
Apple.
of here.
Yeah,
wow.
But that was like kind of part of the thing where it's like, dude, you're working for a $1 trillion company. And even though I like wasn't DJing as much when I first moved to Nashville, I started to get into a couple places and starting to get gigs. And Nashville is like really different because everywhere out there is booked through agencies. So it's like a lot of these venues I couldn't even get my foot in the door unless you get connected with these agencies. So I'm finally like New Year's was like the first time that I had a gig pop up, and it was because like Darren had them hit him up, be like, yo, we're looking for somebody to fill this gig. And he was like, hit up my buddy DEX. Like, and that was my first like foot in the door with this agency and getting booked at a gig that they were doing. And then literally did the one gig, and they were like, yo, we heard you killed it. Started getting me looped into a lot of these other venues. Yeah,
dude. It's I tell a lot of young DJs or like guys, like I still think I'm relatively young, but I tell a lot of these guys who like ask, like, dude, just make sure you're ready for the moment when you get asked. Yeah. That's how I got mine. That's how I got started in nightlife, like in Philly, like, and then obviously kind of grew from there. But like, yeah, that's how I got started, dude. Like this guy Jason Weiss, I asked him, and I was like, he like connected with him, and I remember there's like, it's funny, like from 5 years ago, there's DMs of me and him. I was like, hey, like, you know, if you come me send a mix or something like that, like, he was like, no, I don't need guys right now, and I was like, all right, and then like kind of like happened organically, like you said, kind of like few years down the line, where it's like we like did a podcast, and then he asked me like, dude, what do you want? And I was like, I want a chance, like simple, very simple. Like he's like, want to do Uber on Friday? I was like, fuck yeah. It's like I didn't care about getting paid or anything. I was like, dude, let me just in the door. Like I want you to hear me play. So we did like a back-to-back. It turned into me DJing the whole night because I started, and he was like, dude, you sound great. Like keep going. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. So obviously me, I'm like fucking picking shit. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, so I'm having fun with it, but it's like, yeah, dude, letting things happen organically and providing value off rip. Like that's a big thing. Like a lot of guys like just coming off the bat, like, cause I did it for my Soleil party. I get guys from New York hit me up, and I'm like, they're just like, yo, I want to play for your Soleil party. I was like, just come to the first one. Like, come to the first one. Come meet me. Come say what's up. And like, I'm all for it. Like, I'm all down to like. But also it's a curated environment, so I don't want to like just. I want to make sure like I know what you're playing. But yeah, dude, it's like, the best things happen organically. And so you started at Whiskey. What was the first place you did?
No, I was starting at like Layer Cake at first,
Yeah,
which has since been closed. But yeah, I started there. I was just getting booked like directly through management. So it was a spot that was a little bit like easier to get booked by, because you could go in and meet the manager and all that kind of stuff, and then like that's who was doing the booking.
Yeah.
Versus like so many of these other spots, you can't walk in like and show face and meet the managers and the owners and the other DJs, and they start to see you, and then it's like, all right, they might be going out because like these managers and stuff all also go out, but these people from the agencies don't go out, so it's like they're not going to hear you DJ and be like, damn, we need to put this guy in this venue that he's a good fit for. So as far as like getting your foot in the door, it was a lot harder. But yeah, I started playing at some of these other spots, and like people saw me, and then I ended up getting into just kind of all like the Jam Factory spots. Barstool opened up as we lived there, and I got put into there a couple times. And the first time I actually got put in there was like you said, I mean, just literally just being ready for the situation. And I would do support slots where it was like I was playing from 10 to midnight. We would have a headliner go on at midnight, play midnight to 2, and then you go back on and close out for him, because Nashville's open till 3 a.m. And I was supposed to do support. The guy that was coming in couldn't make his flight. So they were like, hey, you got to do this tonight and you got a headline. I was like, all right, cool. And I played in Milwaukee, played in Chicago, all these spots. And to me, like coming to Nashville, I kind of thought it was like easier, because it's like, dude, you have a crowd built in for you all the time. Like everywhere is busy. You have a nonstop influx of people going in, people going out. So it's a lot easier than a lot of these other markets where it's like you have to build a room up. Like you have to be able to play and build a room from scratch. And you're starting with 0 people. Like you have to be able to build that energy up instead of just coming in and be able to play fucking bangers for 3 hours straight. So in that aspect of things, I was like, cool, like this is not really anything that's like too crazy to me. Got that first chance and that first opportunity, and they loved it. And then immediately they were like, hey, we want him booked a lot more. I started playing there a lot more, and Iga, who was our old manager that passed away, she specifically was like the one that vouched for me and like got me like really, really in there. And she's like, hey, we want to make you like one of the residents. And to me, I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's do this directly. Like, I don't want to have to deal with these agencies. I'd rather just book directly through you. So came on as a resident, was a resident for about a year. And during the time that I was a resident, I was still helping them with like everything booking wise, because I knew all the different DJs from running my mix show, from just following music, all that kind of stuff. So I'd always be kind of giving like feedback to her directly of like, hey, we're thinking about booking this person. What do you think about it? And I'm like, that person is going to suck here. Or like, this person's going to be good here. And when the occasion came up that like they were moving from a director of entertainment, they asked me, and I was kind of just put into it, luckily, just from like the work that I had done over the past year. So
yeah, I love that. And yeah, you came in off rip and just showing your value and like, and just, you know, did a really good job when it was when your name was called. I think that's how it always goes. And that's like honestly with anything in life too, like just from being ready for the moment. Like, and so you mentioned you do this mix show, the platform, right? So you've been doing that for a while, correct?
Since COVID, literally since March of 2020.
Crazy. Yeah, I started this podcast November of 2020. So it was like COVID kind of like was like a real transformational period, I feel like, for everyone. And so like, and you've been DJing, so you obviously been DJing in Milwaukee, but like during COVID, like that time period, you were playing in Milwaukee, right? So you've been a DJ all before that, right?
I started DJing in like 2017, so not even 10 years yet. But yeah, during COVID, it was just like, obviously everywhere was closed. if you're doing like at home workouts and shit, like there was nobody to be able to go out and like listen to as far as DJ sets because nothing was open. And then on top of that, like I wanted to be able to give these DJs an outlet to be able to get their music out and kind of make a name for themselves during this time that everywhere else is closed. So I started the mix show up, and at first I was doing it every day. Literally, I was doing a mix every single day.
Really?
Yeah, different like half an hour mixes every single day, and it got to be a fucking insane amount. Like I did literally every day for about a year. So I was like 200 episodes in already, half like a little over halfway through the year. But toned it down to once a week now. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been like very gratifying to be able to hear from other DJs to be like, yo, I put this mix out, I got this person following me, I got booked for this gig from it. So it's cool to kind of see what can come of being on these mix shows, and then like the DJs that connect with people, because I have so many people hit me up and they're like, yo, this mix was fucking dope, like can you connect me with this person? Can you have them send me like this track from the mix? Like I love this specific song. And so much of the DJ community is so like close without actually knowing each other. Like there's so many people that I talk about it a lot, I feel like, where it's like the DJ community is very unlike any other, where it's like there's so many guys that you've never met, but I mean like you specifically like talking about like Jason before, where it's like there's so many DJs that you haven't met but you've talked to for years. So then it's like that first time that you finally meet them, you're like, oh shit, like I feel like I've known you. Like it's like your pen pals almost.
No, literally. Yeah, it's so cool.
It's crazy because then it's like, all right, you build these connections, and then it's like you go to another city and you have somebody to hit up. Like there's not a city that like I go to where I can't hit up a DJ homie and be like, yo, I'm in Austin tonight, I'm in Tampa tonight, I'm in some like New Orleans, wherever. And it's like there's somebody that you can connect with to be like, yo, where should we go out? I know you know the spots, you DJ out here, and get that connection, and they'll answer you and be like, yeah, send you a list like of all these spots to go. Or it's like, yo, I'm DJing here, come pull up. And then you get that hospitality from them, be able to buy them a couple shots, they buy you a couple shots, whatever. It's cool.
The one, so funny. So I first off, I think the platform is great. I think it's so cool you've been able to like organically build like a kind of like a world around it, and like having guys be able to connect and be able to like just to even like little things like to share tracks and stuff like that. And like I also think your marketing is really good too. You do. So like the one thing like I loved about the whole process was when I was doing my mixes, like you were like, hey, send me the mix, send me the tracks, send me a bio, send me a picture, and like you did this whole like package thing, and it was cool because like it's like because you want to be a part of something like that. It's put together really well, and like it was just awesome. Like the intro and everything, like it was just a definitely cool experience, and like cool to be able to like involved in that. But yeah, so I was gonna say, because like you mentioned like going to other cities and like hospitality. It's a quick story. When you first came in, not first came in, but like I think one of the first times when me and you met, like when you came to Philly, I took you to McGillen's. Yeah. And we did
karaoke night?
Yeah, we did a little Yoki Sunday night.
It's fucking awesome.
And what did we sing? Unwritten by Tasha Bettyfield. Yeah, that was a good time, bro. But that's like our version of hospitality, coming in and doing karaoke at McGillen's, dude. But so you know, and then so being in this role, what would you say are some new responsibilities you've had, or even like just some things you maybe learned about the industry, or like things you've learned about like hospitality in general? Like somebody, David Grutman, I just bought his book, and I find the hospitality world so interesting because it can apply to so many other parts of life where it's like really relationship driven. So like, what are some things in your role that you've really like learned in regards to like hospitality and just like relationship building?
I think hospitality is the biggest thing, is as far as like in a DJ aspect of things, and looking at like a larger picture of being a DJ and being able to be booked as a DJ. For me, like I don't want to book somebody that's difficult to work with. So whether that's like you're not organized, whether that's you're a dickhead, whether that's like you just aren't outgoing at all, there's all those things go into like the hospitality and the networking and all that side of things. And to an extent, like, dude, that part is honestly like bigger than being a good DJ.
Yeah.
Like even for me, like I obviously get feedback from a lot of the staff, and there's so many guys that I think specifically get booked because of the relationship that they have with the managers on the staff, the bartenders, the bottle girls, all that kind of stuff. Or it's like they're getting booked because they're bringing in 60 people and they have that pull, but they might not be like a spectacular DJ by any means. Like they're not gonna go and dude, Cat Williams loves me.
Cat Williams making an appearance on the pod.
Love it.
He does love it. Are you a cat guy? Do you have?
I'm a dog guy, but I love cats, dude.
Shit. How about that? Yeah. He can sense you.
Yeah.
It's his first appearance on the Loft.
Really? Damn, dude. I'm a cat guy now. Yeah. Luna's gonna be pissed. But no, I mean, just that kind of thing where it's like so many DJs like may overlook that kind of stuff of like how big a relationship is more than just like, hey, I'm a fucking dope DJ.
Right.
Because it goes such a long way where it's like walking into a venue that you've never been to before. Don't just walk in and set up your shit and start DJing like it's just a job that you're clocking in for.
Yeah.
Like show up early, go talk to the staff, meet the bartenders, introduce yourself. I always talk about it. I'm like, dude, I go to a new venue. The first thing I do is I like talk to the bartenders. I'm like, give me one song you want to hear before the night's over.
Perfect.
Like something to give them a little bit of connection with you and to make them feel special. And
Absolutely.
Just something like that where it's like now at midnight you're playing that song that they asked you to play. They get a whole boost of energy again.
Yep.
And everyone else will see it. Like people in the crowd that are getting drinks from bartenders, bottle girls, like they feed off that energy. So you see that bartender dancing a little bit, get happy when their song comes on. All that stuff is reciprocated back to the crowd. And then same thing where it's like end of the night, you might have had a shitty set or you might have thought that you had a shitty set. That person is like, yo, this guy was awesome. We need to have him back just because of that one
They're
thing.
going to vouch for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's super important. And just like, it's so funny because like I that is a common, like that's the thing I do too. Like anytime I go to a new spot, like, you know, even when I was like at 511, like I hung out with them like Thursday night and the whole like the night weekend before, the whole weekend. And like, yeah, you just be a human being. I think it's very, very simple. I think a lot of times people just forget that it's like
You just overcomplicate it.
yeah, dude, just fucking be a human being.
Yeah.
It's like that's very important. Like even like the kid last night who walked up to us and was like he was chopping me off a little bit, asking him questions, and like he bought us shots, and it's like it's dope.
Yeah.
Didn't ask for anything, just chilling, just dope. Like I love, like that's just a good like energy to have. Like and like, you know, with that being said and all that, you know, kind of like the relationship building and stuff like that, you know, when you were in Milwaukee and you were DJing and you like kind of got started, like, did you always think, like, was DJing going to be your full time? Did you ever see that? Because I know you said you were selling, you know, at Apple and stuff, so like you were always in sales, but like, did you always see this happening, like this DJing role and the director of entertainment role? Was that something you always wanted to do?
So no, not in Milwaukee. I honestly think like Milwaukee made me very kind of small-minded when it came to like future growth, because I looked at Milwaukee and it was like, all right, you can only get to here because of just like being a smaller market, and there just wasn't the room for growth that there is in other markets like a Nashville or bigger markets. Like if you're going to a New York or somewhere else where it's like a Miami, Chicago even, where there's so much more room for growth, where it's like Milwaukee, the biggest club that you're going to play is 720, which is like a 300 person room. So then you look at it and it's like, even from like a director of entertainment role, there's not even nobody out there even has that,
right?
Because there's no venues that are like large enough to even need that position.
No venues need it, right?
Yeah, like everywhere that's out there, the person that's booking the DJs is just the manager, or like literally the owner just doing it directly, because like the venues are small enough that like everyone actually knows who the owner is.
Right.
Where it's like you go to these bars in Nashville, you're never just gonna like talk to the owner or like see the owner of Ride Hospitality roll up one night, or like our owner comes in every now and then, but it's like the majority of people don't even know who like Josh and Rick are.
Right.
Versus like all these, like I knew every owner of every bar in Milwaukee and would like, you see them out regularly.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, you're not going to be ever put in that position to even have an opportunity to work a position like this. And it's sort of like, it starts to like wear on you, where you start to kind of feel like you're not going anywhere. You're doing the same thing, gets really repetitive, and it kind of, I felt like, to me, like slowed down my progress.
Yeah.
To not really like push myself to do much more. A lot of people just like are stuck in their ways of like doing the same thing. So it takes a lot to like get motivated to be like, damn, I need to be doing this.
Yeah, it can get discouraging. I know, like, I've kind of experienced that too. So, like, even like with my progression, like, I started off locally, and I was like, I'm not getting anything from this. Like, I'm not even like, I always find it to be like, it's me. To me, I find it come in waves, and like I know that when I start feeling it, it's a good thing, because like in the moment, in the present, you kind of maybe feel like a little discouraged, but you just know that it's just a sign of growth. And like, I'm really big on evolution, like just evolving as a human, and like all the steps that like I like to take to evolve. Like I find that whole so fascinating, because it always starts off where you feel like you feel so small, but it births so many new opportunities that you don't even realize are happening. Like for you, like you started off locally in Milwaukee, and like, and anyone can really apply this. Like I can really emphasize that everyone can apply this. Like you start off in Milwaukee and you're like, dude, I feel like I've like kind of outgrown my situation. It's like, what's next? And then like, yeah, your fiance wants to move to Nashville, and you're like, you know what, let's do it. Fuck, I'm putting myself in a new market, just gonna test it out. And now you're in this position where like you're able to have so much, just control, and like, and just you're able to do what you love on a wider scale. And it's like, because of that moment, you felt small. Like that's how the entire Soleil party was born. Like I just was like, dude, like I feel like I've done everything I could in Philly, and like, and I love it, and it's great, and I'm blessed, but I'm like, what's next? How can I create value to start off in Philly for the people in Philly? How can I fill a need in Philly, and then branch off into maybe a new market and stuff like that, just like create that value. So like, that's why I love like your story so much, is because you've been able to like start off in Milwaukee, where there was, the biggest club was a 300-person club. Now you're moving around, you're booking all this town, and you're playing in Nashville all the time, and like, so it's just cool. I always find that route interesting, of just like the evolution, right? It's just so important to me.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's so much more than just like you seeing kind of like a tunnel vision view of like what you want to do. And then, I mean, even like we've talked about it so much for you, where it's like, I'm like, dude, you got to start doing your own events and stuff like that. Like you have this pull out here, you're playing at all these spots, like start doing your own events, and now you're doing this boat party. But then it's like, for me, it was when I moved to Nashville, it pushed me so much more, because like where everyone else was at, like everyone else was so motivated. Everyone else was doing so much more than just DJing, and like being content in their ways of just like, hey, I'm DJing these 3 bars, and like I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to push to do more. I don't need to start working on production. I don't need to be reaching out and going like playing out in other cities, all that kind of stuff. Where it's like Nashville, so many people were so talented in ways that were more than just DJing, where it's like there are so many people that they're writing for other people, they're connecting with other artists and collaborating, where it's like they're doing production for these other artists, or they're just doing production for themselves, where it makes you so much more motivated, where I was like, fuck, dude, I need to do more now, because it's like, if I'm not doing more, then I'm gonna be left behind all these other people out here. So it's cool to move to a different place and kind of reset yourself and get a different mindset to be like, damn, like I can still do this. I just need to change a little bit of the stuff that I'm doing and like reinvest myself.
Yeah. Did that move daunt you at first? Was that like daunting at first? You're like,
no,
fuck.
I wasn't like worried about anything. I mean, I'm very like confident in myself. I know how I am with people. I know how I am as a DJ, but it's just like, it's the other side of things where it's like, I just feel like I got lazy in Milwaukee, where it's just like everyone is just kind of content in their ways. I mean, there's a few people that are doing more, but it's like, dude, I would hang out with like my friends who were just content with like just being a DJ. Yeah. And then it's like you kind of just don't push yourself.
That's a hard place to be, because I always say the new version of you is going to cost you your old self. It's going to cost you old relationships. It's going to cost you old places you used to be, used to go. And, you know, Philly's kind of similar in that way. We're like, especially like in Northeast, like I highlight Northeast specifically. That's kind of where I started. That's where I grew up. It's a bubble, dude. And like, and a lot of people don't get out. And it's one of those weird things where like, and I find this in every part of people's lives, where when you meet people, you get put in a bubble. You get put in this place in their mind. So when you start to break that mold, they don't understand it. So it's like they try to either pull you down or they don't support you. And it's like, because you're breaking that mold that they subconsciously put you in. Yeah. And that's where it's important to build those relationships and like being in those rooms. I always tell like to my girl Britt, I'm like, I can't be in these rooms anymore. I can't have these small talks anymore. I need to be like, I need to be in environments that actually fuel me, and like, and you know what I'm saying? Because like, it can get easy being in that same routine, but breaking that routine is like the hardest thing ever. Once you break that threshold, like how you did moving to Nashville, I feel like you were able to see your full potential of what you're able to do. And like, I just think that it's so important for people to realize is like, you have to break that mold somehow. Yeah. You know?
I mean, even still, I'm not even close to like
absolutely
where I want to be. And there's so many other things that I want to be doing, especially like with the platform in general, of like ideas that I have of scaling it to being larger than even what it is now, of just the podcast and the mix show. And there's so much more that I want to be doing that even still I'm like, damn, like I need to actually get on this. Like, instead of keeping on talking about it, like I need to do this. Yeah.
So do you find yourself like, because I'm very, very guilty of this, but do you find yourself impatient? You're like, oh, I gotta do this and this. Like, you want to get it somewhere so fast, but it's like you you realize that shit takes time. Yeah, it can't just happen overnight.
Yeah, dude. There's so much where I'm like, damn, dude, I need to do this. I need to do this, and I always have like all these ideas, and I write them down, and then I go back and look at like my like to-do list of all the things that I've thought of ideas for that I need to get done, and then it's like, all right, now you have to prioritize this of like which one is actually feasible right now, which one is going to take a little bit more time to get done and do it right. Because like you're talking about the branding and everything prior, where it's like all that kind of stuff to me is like some of the most important things, where having the brand and the marketing and all that kind of stuff on point, where it looks official, where it's like then down the line, if you are going to pitch it and you're trying to get sponsors or whatever else, or like you're trying to turn it into an event, which is something that like I want to be able to do, or bigger picture stuff that I have. It's like the look of everything when you go to pitch it to sponsors or investors or whatever else that it may be, or even me pitching the mix show to larger DJs, where it's like once they see, oh, this artist has been on it, and oh, this artwork looks really, really nice. This is something that I would actually post on my socials because it is aesthetically pleasing. Like,
dude, it looks good on my fucking Instagram. So I'm like, you know what I mean?
So it's like that kind of stuff goes a long way to a lot of these people in the grand scheme of things.
You find yourself doing this platform podcast. You're putting other guys on. You're doing a great job putting out episodes, mixes, everything. Do you ever find yourself not putting more into your cup? Do you find yourself...
Dude, I just talked about this, where it's like, I feel like momentum wise for myself, I sometimes like it's like a hindrance to it, because you're putting so much time into not only like this company and doing all this stuff for all of these other venues that you have to oversee, but then also trying to find time for yourself as a DJ or an artist or wherever you want to go. And it's just managing your time. Like I feel like a lot of the days there's just not enough hours in a day. But it's also like some days I'm just bad at managing my time. Like when I get done with doing all this work shit and like meetings and calls and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, damn, I just want to take a break and watch this TV show. But then like I sit down, I'm like, fuck, dude, now I just sat here and watched this for 2 hours, and I could have been working on music production, or I could have edited this podcast, or I could have reached out to this venue to do this event. Like all that kind of stuff, where it's like, dude, I could have went through music for this last 2 hours and found some new shit and reorganized some stuff to play. So I look at it a lot, and I'm like, it's just another thing where I'm like, I need to be better at managing the time for myself. But then it's also like, you got to take a break sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's like when you're able to to kind of, like you said, manage your time. I don't know if you use ChatGPT, but it's literally my assistant. Like, I talk to it all the time, dude. It's I highly recommend it. It's like $20 a month, perfect. So like this, I talk to it all the time. I ask her for advice on a lot of different things, and because it has it's like an algorithm based, right? So it'll kind of know certain things, and I use I'll take what it gives me and I'll apply it to my own life. So like, I had this similar thing recently where a dream. I think it was last 2 nights ago. And I had a dream where I was like on an island somewhere, and all of a sudden a big wave came and just hit me, and I just let it hit me, and I closed my eyes, and like I felt the waves keep hitting, and I was like, all right, is this what death feels like? Am I dead? I was like, I don't know. It's like, because it feels real in the moment, right? So it's like, but then I was like, oh wait, I can wake up. So I opened my eyes, and I looked it up, like what it meant, and it just meant like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. There's a lot happening. You're putting a lot on yourself, and moral of that story is I feel like it's really important, like. Because, like, yeah, maybe you could have done that podcast or you could have done that production, but it's also, like, I think there's so much noise in this fucking world.
Yeah.
Dude, like, sometimes it's okay to just watch your show, and that's good enough. I think a lot of times people are just, like, they get stuck, oh, I have to be doing this. Like, it's such a hustle culture that, like even, like, yeah, it's like with Instagrams and TikTok, like, it's always a hustle culture. It's always people are always trying to do shit, and we're always rushing each other for no fucking reason. Like, sometimes it's good to just watch that show. Like I just did a wedding in Costa Rica, and dude, the way of life there, I don't know if you've ever been there, Costa Rica. No. Dude, the way of life there is just so different. Yeah. No one's rushing around to go anywhere. Everyone's just like enjoying their life, having a good time. Like, and sometimes it's just good to just realize, like, just you being there is enough. Like, I ask a lot of guys that people, whenever they come on the podcast, like, and I ask you this too, like, do you ever sometimes just look back and reflect at your progress? I think sometimes it gets so lost in the weeds, man, because you have so many new responsibilities. And it's like, sometimes, like, dude, like, you're a DJ in Milwaukee, you know, playing in these same few venues, and now you're managing and booking talent all over the country. Like, do you sometimes just, like, look and reflect, like, on that?
I really don't, but I should. I honestly look at it more for, like, my friends than I do myself. Just of, like, friends that I try and help get out of ruts and stuff like that, where it's like I look at them and try and get them to progress, versus like caring and thinking about myself and all that kind of stuff first, where literally now that I'm, like, thinking about it, I don't ever kind of look back and be like, damn, like, I'm doing a lot better now than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah, dude, that, like I said, I highly recommend it. I am always, something I always practice is gratitude. Like, to me, it's like a call to the universe that, like, that I want abundance, but I'm so happy where I am now that no matter what happens, I'm okay. Yeah. Like I said, dude, like, it's something I've really been, like, diving into, like, the past, like, few months, just because, like, you do get, like, in that bubble in your head where you're just like, fuck, like, I'm stagnant right now. Whereas, like, dude, you just fucking did this, and this, but, like, in your mind, because we're just so programmed to be hustlers, and that's why we are where we are. You always tell yourself, like, what's next? But it's like, sometimes, like, you being there is just good enough. Yeah. I think a lot of people in general could just need to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, you really do, like, you specifically, Dex, have, like, a good, like, have done a lot. And, like, even, like, me, like, you just attracted so much good energy, like, even with your platform podcast and all of that, even, like, me flying out, coming to the Mafia handshake, like, even when I was out there,
I love that term.
Dude, it's I use it all the time, dude. Like, I even said to Dakota, dude, like, when we had our dinner, I was like, dude, because I wanted to fly out to Arizona or Scottsdale, and but we couldn't have our schedules done. But I was like, when we finally had dinner in Philly, it kind of worked out, and I was like, dude, I just want to do the Mafia handshake, bro. Like, I just want to come up, shake your hand, and just say what's up, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's super important. But yeah, I would just personally say, like, as like your friend, like, just sometimes it's good to just reflect, bro. Like, it's so important. You know what I mean?
It's just so hard to do that. I mean, kind of like you said, where it's like everything is so fast paced, and you're always doing something, or like feeling the need to be doing something. I feel like is even more so the thing for me, where it's like I feel like I need to be busy, or like I need to be doing something. I can't just like sit and chill, and like my fiance fucking hates it. Like Maddie's never happy about that. That I can't just like sit and relax and just hang out. And it's like I get home and I immediately just like open up my computer and I start doing something, or like I'm always on my phone because there's always someone texting me, whether it's like one of our venues or like another DJ or something, where it feels like the work doesn't ever stop. But then even when it does stop, taking that time to like reflect is so difficult, because I just like I want to be doing more. There's like goals that I have and things that I want to do, and just like not feeling like you're doing enough even now as is. And that could be a lot attributed to like social media and stuff like that. And you see all these other people that you're like, fuck dude, like I want this, I want to be successful like that, I want to do this event, I want to be DJing this venue, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard. It's a
tricky slope. And I think sometimes like like whenever I do see something and I'm like, it kind of motivates me, I always use it as inspiration, like no matter what. But like I always make sure that I understand like what I'm doing first. Dude, my like first off, I do want to take a moment to shout out significant others in this industry, because it is so fucking slept on. So like, you know, shout out to your fiance, and like shout out to my girlfriend. Like I truly believe that they deal with so much of our bullshit, and the fact that we're nothing we do is good enough. Like, and we always need to be better. So shout out to you guys for watching. If you're watching,
Maddie gets to hear everything too. Like, to be in the room while I'm on my calls and stuff, and just like, she loves like listening to this shit, and she's like, all right, what's going on today? It's awesome.
Dude. So shout out to Maddie, dude. When I met her, she was fucking incredible too. She was awesome. Like, so obviously, like I said, with your work and everything you've been doing, I never really got to ask about like your family dynamic. So I'm really curious as to like maybe what your family dynamic looks like, and then maybe how you apply that to your life and your career.
So my family dynamic is very different, I feel like. Kind of sucked growing up. I got kicked out of my house in high school. So actually like haven't had a relationship with my mom and stepdad in 15 years. I haven't spoken with my mom since like 2011. But my dad and my stepmom, the relationship that I had with them, I wouldn't change for the world. I mean, my dad and stepmom would always be there for me. I could reach out to them at any time of day, any time of night. They'd always be there to do anything for me. And then same thing, vice versa. But it definitely is something that like made me, I feel like, a lot more independent and like grow up a little bit more. Because it's like I was just already on my own and like living alone and all that kind of stuff, where kind of had to figure things out a little bit on my own, and a lot quicker. But at this point, it's like I really don't even, like, people be like, oh, you don't talk to your mom? And I'm like, no, like it's not something that like bothers me, or like I even literally I even like think about anymore, where it's to the point that it's just like a normal thing to me.
Just is.
Because it's been like so long, and just having the support from my actual dad and my stepmom, where it's like that is mom and dad.
Right.
But yeah, that's it.
Wow, it's so funny because, dude, because my family dynamic is not that, and I'm very blessed to have a good family dynamic. But like when I speak to people like who maybe aren't the close to their family, it always, especially ones that are successful and also maintain good relationships in their life. Like I feel like you have very good relationships and a good, like, a great fiance, but great friends, great network. And it's like, do you think that that dynamic and that, that situation, do you think it fuels you? Do you think it puts a chip on your shoulder? Is that something you think about, or do you think it's something so subconscious that you don't even really?
No, I honestly don't even think about it like at all. Like I never am like doing something where I'm like, I'm doing this because like I want you guys to be.
I want you to
like,
see me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't even think they know what the fuck I do, which is crazy. I don't even know if they know where I live or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's weird to think like that they haven't been able to see like any of the success, or even if they do think that I'm living a successful life or anything like that, they might look at it and be like, wow, this guy's a loser. He fucking DJs. So who even knows? But it's not even like, I don't even really think about it because I have that support from my dad and from my stepmom, and like that's all I need.
Yeah, I think, and that's a great way to look at it, because I know some people can like, it can always be that thing they think about. I think when it comes to how you move and how you live your life, I think you get to a point where you're just like, all right, like I know who my people are. I know, and it kind of makes you like a bit grounded in that sense, because you're just like, I know who my friends are, I know who my people are, I know who
100%.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that's all I really need. Like I have my friends that I talk to every day, and I have like my family that I talk to, and between them, like I don't need anything else.
Right.
I legit could like have those 10 close knit people, and that's it. Like that's all you need, because it's like I'll get all the feedback that I want. I know that my friend group, I've talked about before, but my friend group is kind of dickheads, but like in a good way. Like they're not going to sugarcoat shit. I can't stand the people that have friends that are just like yes men.
Yep.
And don't let you know that you're not doing well. Like I want my friends to tell it how it is. Like if I'm fucking up and I'm not doing something that I should be doing, or I could be doing better, I want to know that. And then obviously when it comes to like the music side of things too, where it's like, all right, dude, like if I need to fix this and this, so I want to know, instead of just being like, yo, dude, you killed that DJ set, and you're like, no, that shit sucked.
Yep. No, literally, I'd rather someone tell me I suck at something
For sure
than have somebody say it was the greatest, because I know you're bullshitting me, because I know I fucking didn't do great. I know that wasn't the greatest. Yeah, dude, I think I'm curious as what your thoughts on this too. Like, I'm very big on feedback. I want to hear everything. If you think something isn't maybe something maybe you would have done, or like, to me, I love it. Anything like within reason, like, you know, when it comes to like even like this podcast, or like just even like my career in general, sometimes I'm always down to hear what people have to say, because that's information you didn't have yesterday. And it depends what you do with it. It could mean absolutely nothing. People get, because I've heard people say some stupid shit before, but it's like also like, dude, you think you're right. Like, I think you make a good point. Like one thing, like, kind of not make it too DJ, but I always will listen to a request. It sounds crazy, but because sometimes the room knows what the room needs. And like, but
you're also going to come across so much new music.
But yeah, so like I said, transitioning more into the bigger scale of things, right? We kind of talked about like what you've been able to do, and how you know, how your career's been, how it's evolved. I'm genuinely curious as to what you truly find in like fulfillment, like what really fuels you, and what like really ultimately is your version of like fulfillment. Man,
for myself or for other people?
For you. I'm talking about you, Dex. Not talking about anybody else.
Damn, dude, I'm fulfilled when I'm just at home with my fiance and my dog and just hanging out. And I'll be fulfilled when I'm back in our fucking house after it gets done getting remodeled. But no, I mean, just like seeing success in my friends, I honestly feel like is like the biggest thing. Like, I have the stuff myself, and I feel like it's kind of hard to be fulfilled with a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, just because of kind of things that we talked about before, where it's like I'm so hard on myself, where it's hard to think that like this is good or whatever, because I kind of am such a harsh self-critic, where I wish I could be like more fulfilled with myself. But I mean, I think my friends, I feel like are even bigger, where it's like I love to be able to put my friends on, or like DJs that I know and put them on. Anybody, like whether it's a different part of the industry, just being able to connect and network people and bring people together is where like I find fulfillment in the most way. I feel like bringing like my friend Austin, got him to move out to Nashville, and now he's playing everywhere in Nashville. And it's kind of same thing where it's like felt kind of stuck in Milwaukee and was like gonna quit DJing and like wasn't happy, and now he's out in Nashville and he's playing everywhere, and it's like rejuvenated himself. And that's the kind of stuff where like it makes me happy to see like success in my friends and see them happy and see them succeeding to a level that like they weren't prior, is where I really see fulfillment. I love that kind of shit.
Hell yeah, just like kind of like just seeing people's growth and all that. Do you have that same vision for yourself as well? Do you see that growth for yourself as well?
I hope so. I know it's hard for me just because there's a lot that I want to do that it's a matter of me actually getting it done.
For
and
sure.
Quitting bullshitting and getting on the shit and getting it done. So, and then I'll be fulfilled once I get some of this other stuff done.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. And so, with all that being said, like I said, I just want to tell you, like, just as we're here right now, like, I do think that like you've done a lot, like you're doing doing a lot for a lot of people. I think you've done a great job. And like, just from the little things of like the details, you really go with the small details of like the platform and like, even just the way, like just your scheduling and just like stuff like that. And like, even like in some of our calls we've been having, like, it's just, I see the well-oiled machine, and I see that you're a really important cog in that. And like, and the one thing that I'll ask you before we kind of like wrap up is that like a lot of people are, sometimes they feel stuck in life and they feel like maybe they're not in a position they want to be, or they don't, they see more for themselves, but they're not there yet. So like, what's some advice you could leave for somebody who wants to elevate themselves, evolve, and put themselves in rooms that they want to be in?
Have the right people around you. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Like if you feel stuck or you want to evolve, any of that kind of stuff that you just said, like having the right people around you is the biggest thing. If you're around people that aren't wanting to evolve, or they're stuck, they're not doing anything, you're gonna feel that way, and you're not gonna want to progress because you're surrounded by people that are not wanting to progress. And it sucks because a lot of times that means cutting off certain friends or finding new friends, getting into a different friend group of people that are motivated to do the things that you want. You got to surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to push you a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like one of the biggest things is having the right people around you, the right team around you, who are going to push you and motivate you and keep you doing the right things and keep you on track to even more so than you are yourself.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's the oldest saying in the book, but you are the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? And like, it is true. I do think that's a general, like, it's a sign you're evolving when you feel like you're in rooms you're not supposed to be in anymore. A lot of people get scared of that, but I find that to be like a life telling me that it's time to step it up. Yeah. And it challenges you internally to either like start something new or kind of or move to a new city or something like that, because you just never know what's on the other side of that. So I think a lot of people can really take your story and like take a lot of benefit from that. I genuinely believe that. So, dude, with all that being said, I want to genuinely thank you for coming on the podcast, bro. Yeah, it's such a good time. I know, it's hard for like our schedules and stuff that we get to do this, but I would love to run this back in Nashville, to be honest. I would love to run it back there at Barstool, Nashville. I just feel like there's so much more we can talk about. But I feel like this was a really great like introduction to like maybe just people learning more about you and just like our relationship in general, and so I'm excited for the future. And dude, like I said, like I appreciate you for even like just putting me on your podcast and your mix and stuff like that, and just like just with the opportunities you've given me and the company itself, and I'm happy to be growing with you guys and just seeing like where it takes us. So
a lot more to come from you too.
Absolutely,
I mean, I know you got boat parties all summer, so we'll see that. And coming to Nashville as soon as this NFL schedule comes out. So we'll definitely link up out there. I'll get you in the studio and get you on the pod out there. But it'll be awesome, man. A lot of stuff with the Eagles that you're doing, and just events and everything else that you're trying to do. I mean, keep it going.
Yeah, man. And it's just huge. I appreciate that. It's just the I always, like I said, you've even kind of hinted at it, I always find value in just building something myself. I love that. I will always do that. I've always been that person who's never wanted to wait for anything, and if I'm not getting an opportunity, it just means I'm not doing enough, and that's just like the healthy version that I take it as, because it's like, okay, it challenges you to grow even more. What's the worst that can happen? You fucking all of a sudden now you grow a whole entire business, and now you get opportunities you've always wanted. Like,
Yeah.
I've never looked at it negatively. I've always said, okay, I'm not in this room. There's something I got to be doing that's more.
Yeah.
Right. And boom, Slayer Party, or the Club 215 stuff. Like, that's how like I kind of got myself more into the scene, because I was like, I don't want to wait for anybody. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it myself. I'm gonna put the hours in, put the time in, and just see what happens, and,
Yeah.
and build it with good people around me, you know.
Love it.
So, but yeah, dude, well, listen, I know you're back at Parlay tonight. I have a wedding tonight, but dude, like I said, I just appreciate you a lot, and I'm excited and see where it goes, and dude, and I appreciate you for coming on the Loft.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Absolutely, bro. Well, listen, hope you guys enjoy this episode of the Loft. I'm Kev Nichols. That's Dex. Peace.